Hi, MCC family. This is Merv Stalter and my wife Barb, and we have been members here since 1988. We recently took the Rooted class, and in one of the lessons, we talked about tithing and debt and offerings and giving of your time and money. And it reminded me of a time back when we first got married in '88 of the struggle we were having with starting over from 2 bad marriages. We knew that to make the second marriage work, we were going to have to do things by the book and as best as we could. This sort of reminds me of what happened back then, where we decided that we needed to tithe. But when we worked out our money situation, our bills, we discovered that it would not work, absolutely would not work on paper. And so we prayed about it, thought about it, kept talking about it, and we finally decided that we had to do it anyway. And so we sat down and started to figure out how that was going to work.
Well, as I've always been in church, and I knew my parents gave an offering. My first experience as an adult was at the Lutheran church in Rantoul, where they had you pledge, and I thought I was doing really good if I gave like $5 a week, or finally increased it to 10, and I was patting myself on the back for that. And here we are at church, and we're in a Sunday school class where we were talking about giving and tithing. And, the total accountant comes out in me, and I'm like, well, can't we do this in stages? Can't we build up to it? One woman in the class said, we just wrote that check, and God took care of the rest. So we just decided to do it. And there was a verse that we talked about in the class. And I'd like to read it because I think it's the only place in the Bible where it actually says to test. God says, test me in this. And it's Malachi 3:10. And the verse says, bring the full tithe into the storehouse, that there may be food in my house. And thereby put me to the test, says the Lord of hosts, if I will not open the windows of heaven for you and pour down for you a blessing until there is no more need. And that kind of did it for us. And we wrote that first check, figured out what a tithe would be for us. And it was no more than a few weeks, if that, later. The surprise for me is I got a check in the mail, which I wasn't expecting. I didn't even know existed. I didn't know there was even any kind of an award like this. But it came from my graduate school at the U of I, and it was $500. And to me, that just locked it in. God took care of it. And he did it swiftly, and we never questioned it after that. We just kept writing the checks, and it was great.
When we, like I say, we sat down and tried to figure out what our tithe would be, and discovered that it just wouldn't work. Even with an accountant pushing numbers, it did not work. But on paper. And so we started writing the check, sometimes begrudgingly, because we knew that depending which check hit the bank first, we were in trouble. And we some way made it through the first year. And when we were doing our taxes, our raises matched the tithe that we had given up all year long. And my first thought was we should have gave more to the Lord and our raises would have been bigger. But it doesn't work that way. But since making it through that first year, we have been able to continually tithe. So it's just, hopefully this can be a lesson for other people, that put him to the test, trust him. You can't outgive him. You can't do that. And I would just say, have we gotten everything we've wanted in life? No, but we've gotten everything we've needed.
Needed.
Yeah.